Okay, we've launched the admin module within SuperCloud Composer. I'd like to point out to you on the left side of the sidecard information the various different configuration fields we can change within the SCC appliance itself. You'll see in the middle of the screen an element list that is a collection of users that have been added within SuperCloud Composer. So to add a user, you simply click on the plus sign here, and then that would launch the add user template that you would fill out the appropriate information to add in your user. The username, first name, last name, email address, the type of role that this user is going to perform within the data center. So a role is based on the tasks or the functions that they're going to perform within their data center, whether it be a global admin, a network admin, an architect, or a viewer, which is read-only. You can also go ahead and only by the global admin disable an account. So for example, if a user left the organization, you could simply disable their account. Only the global admin can disable accounts, and only the global admin can basically see a list of those users that have been deactivated or disabled within SuperCloud Composer. So this is a very important security aspect of SuperCloud Composer where we go ahead and institute compliance and also governance. If you click on the next option, which is the role option, we provide an element list of a member count that's been associated with a group. So in this case, we have 0 users that have been assigned to the architect group or the architect role. We have 23 users that have been assigned to the global admin group, 0 users to the network admin group, and 4 users to the viewer group, which is read-only. We also provide a timestamp and when these things have been actually updated. So very useful for tracking purposes to see who's been making changes to the roles and the user accounts within SuperCloud Composer. We have 2 services that we provide currently right now that are external services. So the Ntp server setting is to send trigger alerts or policy-based alerts to an SMTP relay host. So you would be setting up this SMTP server settings to send those trigger alerts or policy-based alerts to an SMTP server. We also provide a Prometheus Metrics type of performance metrics or Prometheus server with IP address and port that is external to SuperCloud Composer to collect analytics data. The security attribute is on by default. It's the idle timeout. So if you were to walk away from the session and after 30 minutes has been elapsed, your session would be automatically logged out. This is a value you can change as a delta value, or you can simply disable it. But by default, it is enabled and set for the default setting of 30 minutes. We also provide you with a list of elements or systems that have been enforced based on licensing. So we see here in the list here where systems have been activated based on licensing. The 2 licenses for SuperCloud Composer are a DCMS license, which turns on extra advanced features such as Redfish. So our agents communicate based on our ODIM framework to the BMC through Redfish queries. And then we enforce licensing at the monitored host. So there's no licensing enforcement on the appliance. Although we do go ahead and provide a trial license, which gets installed on initial deployment of SCC. That will be a duration of 90 days After the 90-day duration, we suspend the monitored licenses themselves. So 200 active licenses would be turned on, or 200 monitored hosts would be for the 90-day trial. And then at that point, we would go ahead and suspend monitoring capability within those hosts. If you want to go ahead and activate a key, you can simply click on the activate key, and then you can go in and add in both your DCMS license and also your monitored host. So these keys would be plugged into each one of these blocks, and you would simply click on submit, and it would basically activate this system both for DCMS and then also SCC. Let's move on to the SCC appliance itself. So we can make changes to the standalone IP address. So this is the external facing NIC. You can plug in IP address, network mask, and gateway to change it. We provide static and also DHCP. You can also go ahead and make changes to the primary, secondary, and tertiary of DNS. In our case, we have just one DNS name server that we point to, which is 8.8.8.8. If you had additional ones, you could simply add them here, and it would go ahead and search based on the name server list. Based on if you had an unresponsive DNS server, then it would simply take on the role of the secondary and the tertiary, depending on the reachability there. We also have the ability to go ahead and add in 3 Ntp servers, Stratum servers. So we're synced right now to a Stratum 3 server, and you can go ahead and plug in those values within NTP. So we would be the NTP client, and we would be getting our time sync from Stratum servers that exist on the internet. We also have the ability to change Snmp information, so you can simply enable or disable. We have both Snmp v2 and v3. So if you're looking for more secure type of Snmp type of MIB data that's being sent to SCC, sending it based on trap information, we would simply go ahead and use the Snmp v3, which is completely encrypted. So we have both Snmp v2 and v3 support to send trap alerts to an Snmp trap server. Moving on to the PODM container, this is where we can change its IP address. We give you the ability again to change it either based on static or DHCP. You can also change the DNS server within the PODM container as well, based on primary, secondary, and tertiary. We also provide the ability for you to send syslog information to a syslog server, and we provide various different types of attributes or facilities, we call them, to a syslog server that you're looking to capture and be able to store away for future use, or be able to troubleshoot in the event that a issue were to arise with the appliance itself. And then of course the other one is the software information to provide you with the version and the release date.